Welcome to the Instantly Show, the daily show on AI go-to-market and the strategies driving real revenue growth. As you are, I'm pretty sure, already familiar, or you should be. Friday is our one of the most dense episodes where we have multiple guests, and the first one is Romàn Czerny, that is going to be on the show. He's the co-founder of Gojiberry AI, which watches for buying signals on LinkedIn and books qualified demos of them automatically. He took it from zero to $4.3 million a year in 13 months with a team of 11, profitable, and they joined YC Combinator only after the revenue was already there. Before this, he built a Shopify app to 500,000 euros on cold outreach alone and sold it to seven figures. Look, so he's gonna be on the show, right? So he will walk us through one of his most successful outreach campaigns and the best performing one. And later in the show, we're gonna have Milana Pitkovic, a go-to-market engineer with 13 years of outbound experience, who also won the AI SDR award. So, two guests. I am going to show you the lineup for today. Now, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also ask your questions, because we're gonna have Roman joining us at, again, about 7 to 8 minutes. Then we're gonna have a tutorial, then a few more clarification questions, because they raised the money. They've been joining the Y Combinator, and I want to ask about that so that you can, guys, get some insights. And then we're gonna have Milana, who is going to be teaching us a few very interesting things related to the outreach. Max Verstappen signed a new deal with Red Bull. And the reason why I am putting this as a news, because the deal size is crazy. 92 million euros a year from 2027 up to 115 million with bonuses. And the whole deal is reported at around 460 million euros. Now, for the comparison, Steph Curry is about to become the first NBA player ever pass $60 million in salary a year. LeBron earns about 52 million from actual playing basketball, obviously a lot from the different sponsorships and the businesses that he runs. So Verstappen's driving pay alone is roughly double either of them. The only athlete clearly earning more on the field is Ronaldo with $200+ million, the deal with Al Nassr. Astromath raised $20 million at $3.8 billion valuation, and which is kind of surprising, right? When you hear $20 million and $3.8 billion valuation, something is kind of weird, right? Because they did raise also $60 million in total ever, but again, the valuation is kind of crazy. So the company spun out of Colossal Biosciences. If you don't know Colossal, that's the company trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. Astromath is their first spin out to become a unicorn, and the valuation nearly doubled since March. What actually they're doing is the AI that forecasts biology. The idea is to predict where the biological systems are heading and where they're likely to break. So conservations, diseases, drug resistance, threats to the food supply. It was founded by the guys that were at Harvard genetics lab working previously, and now they are having their own company. ChatGPT can now get into your iMessages specifically, and of course, iMessages are kind of like more relevant to people within the US because this is where they are most popular in. Now, for those who don't know, the difference between the iMessage and the messages is that the messages like you text anyone, but the iMessage is specifically iPhone to the iPhone. Obviously, if you are texting someone that doesn't have an iPhone, it's going to, fall back to the regular SMS. So, and there's a new Apple Messages plugin on your Mac. ChatGPT can search your messages, catch up on conversations you missed, and draft and send replies. It's live on ChatGPT Work and as well as in Codex on desktop. Slack launched Slack Code, and the idea is to take AI coding out of the terminal that we are, all using, like a VS Code or like the one that I'm, for example, using, which is Cursor, and bring it back or in the Slack channel. So you mention a coding agent in any conversation and it spins out its own channel. The channel has 4 tabs: the conversation, the plan it's going to follow, the actual code changes, and live preview of what it built. Your team watches, comments, and approves before anything ships. When a job is done, the channel archives itself and stays as a record. And it's like, so it's like it's the interface, right? Because they are partnering up with Claude Code, Claude Tag, Devin, GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, and Versal's agents, and all on day one. So obviously, it's not tied down to one lab, which is obviously always great to have. Both OpenAI and Anthropic changed their data policies this week, one day apart, and there's a reason for that. Palantir's CEO Alex Karp has spent weeks publicly going after the AI labs. His argument is that they want your company's data, surprise, surprise, so they can learn your business and eventually compete with you, not just use the data to advertise you, but rather compete with you. His words, quote, "I'm gonna get no value and they're gonna get my IP," end quote. This is effing insane. Then on Wednesday, OpenAI announced something called private safety processing. Your data stays on your own infrastructure or under your own encrypted keys, and OpenAI only gets a narrow signal if a threat shows up. Again, I was reviewing this news, and the funny part is that it comes from Palantir. Like that, this is the company that built itself around data that is collecting. Now, I mean, of course, there's like different ways of collecting data and spying and like legal, not legal. I'm not like debating that. What I'm saying is that again, like Palantir is the data company, right? In my eyes, at least. And he's going after ChatGPT, and Anthropic is hilarious. But for us as consumers, again, more strict guidelines for them when it comes to our privacy is, always good to have. A Dutch regulator fined Uber 825 million euros, which is about $966 million. And between 2020 and 2022, Uber deactivated driver accounts automatically by algorithm. When it's expected fraud without properly, telling the drivers what really happened or giving them a real way to challenge it. That's the actual, illegal part in Europe under GDPR rules. A decision made only by computer that seriously affects someone's life has to have real human review and a way to appeal. I love to see that. I hate. I want to swear very badly here because throughout my online, career, I have been blocked so many times, not because I'm like doing shady stuff, usually not, but because I'm traveling a lot, right? I have like multiple residencies. I have multiple citizenships, and I like change locations a lot, and I like change VPN. This is like, so there are a lot of like this, weird things happening within my accounts. And when you're dealing with the apps that is take this seriously, I understand why this could be a problem. But again, in my case, I never did anything wrong. But I hate when someone, blocks it automatically, which is fine, but then there's no way to appeal, or you appeal and then you get an automated reply. So, yeah, fine them for like billions of dollars, make them go bankrupt so that others learn on these mistakes, because I am the victim of this whole automated blocking industry. President Trump said that US is considering buying, quote, sizable amounts of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Crypto prices moved on it immediately, which kind of tells that the market were not pricing it in. Now, look, like, important part, considering it's a lot of work in that sentence. There is, as usually with President Trump, there's no amounts, no timelines, no mechanism announced. A government actually buying Bitcoin would be one of the biggest single events in history of the assets, and right now it's just a sentence. But if it's gonna happen, obviously this most likely going to be a very, very sizable amount of money. Now, let me check if Roman is here waiting for us guys right here. Um, that is great. Let me see. My first guest is Romàn Czerny, co-founder of Goji AI. Their product watches for buying signals on LinkedIn and books off them automatically. And he took it from zero to $4.3 million ARR in 13 months, which is impressive. With a team of only 11 profitable, they joined YC, as I said, after they already had the revenue, which is also kind of an interesting part that I want to discuss. Before this, he built and sold a Shopify app for 7 figures. Roman, welcome to the show. Can you hear us? Can you see
Hello.
us?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, all good. Look, I have been doing some research on you, and obviously the big number is $4.3 million, pretty short time frame, right? Would love to know in a few words, like, what made it happen? Like, why the majority of the startups fail and are not able to grow as fast? So, what was it? Was it you? Was it team? Was it timing? Was it product?
I think it was a bit of everything. It was timing, definitely, because outreach tools were outdated and they were not doing a lot of things with AI. So that was the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is when you enter a red ocean, if you know how to do marketing and if you know how to put your product in front of eyes of many people, then you win. Um, and also it was the angle, the approach we took with intent data. It was a buzzword, and we pushed a product toward that buzzword that
Yeah.
helped people book more demos. So people understood the value immediately, and we started getting tons of customers pretty fast.
I would suspect that you receive this question a lot nowadays, but let me ask you directly. You've been profitable, you've been running a pretty successful company. So why join YC right now after revenue, after being profitable and finding the product market fit?
That's a great question. So we applied the first time to YC, we were doing 20K, I think, and then we applied the second
Okay,
time, we
yeah.
were doing almost a million a year. We applied for many things. First one is the network. So YC is really a structure that can take you from 1 million to 100 million if you are willing to do what it takes. Um, and yeah, I mean it's another way to look at business. When you enter YC, you see people having multi-million dollar companies, billion-dollar companies, and it really shifted the mind of the whole team from we want to do a $5 or $10 million business to we want to do a $100 billion business. So that's why we joined,
Mm-hmm.
and we got like tons of great advice. Um, we meet people that succeeded very well. So that's mostly why we joined.
Got it. Paulo was on one of our shows recently, and you guys, work together, and he is obviously known for, driving revenue through the content and building the engines, but you are building the outbound tool yourself. So would love to know, for your own growth, was it mostly a content organic driven, or was it actually the outbound that you're selling to your clients?
Yeah. So actually, it's pretty interesting because what we did to start Gojiberry, we started with outbound. So we advertised the tool before the tool was even born. So we were reaching out to businesses with Instantly, by the way, and we would
Shout
say,
out to
okay,
you
we can
instantly.
find you high intent leads. It's $100 per month, and people would say yes. We would look for the leads ourselves on LinkedIn. We would send them CSVs, and when we got to 10K doing that with freelancers, we said, okay, let's stop everything we do because we are now building an agency. Let's start a tool. So we created a tool. We went from 0 to 10K doing only outreach. Then we added channels, we added Reddit, we added content, we added ads. But nowadays we are still doing a lot of outreach. We are sending millions of emails per month, and yeah, so it's a mix of both. But definitely to kickstart a company and to know what works very fast, outreach is like one of the best ways.
Everyone who is watching us live, a few updates first. Don't click off, because in about 6 to 7 minutes, Roman is going to be sharing his screen and showing us one of the campaign that he considers one of the best that he ever ran. And also in the description, you'll find a link to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, where we share the weekly go-to-market strategies as well as the deals that you will not find anywhere. Roman, um, just to make sure that we all are on the same page, is your tool primarily working on top of the LinkedIn as signal, source?
Um, yes, exactly. So it's pretty much getting intent data from LinkedIn and also from other data sources such as forums, news article, and so on.
The reason why I'm asking this question is, I know a lot of people have different opinions when it comes to building a startup around a specific platform or a specific mechanism on a platform.
Mhm.
So would love to know how you're thinking about the risks that you're taking of LinkedIn potentially, banning the accounts that are doing this behavior. And they have a very weird policy when it comes to automations. We've been all hearing
Yes.
stories of, Apollo accounts or Zoom Info accounts getting banned and then restored. So do you ever consider this a risk?
Yeah, definitely, it's a risk. But there are several ways to approach it. So um, first, we only had LinkedIn data. Now we are expanding to other sources of data. We only had LinkedIn. We do a bit of email, not like instantly. We do very
Yeah.
targeted multi-channel email. Um, our customer don't scrape data. We don't scrape data. We don't send too many messages on LinkedIn. So I mean, we respect pretty much everything they ask for. The only thing is we automate. A lot of tools automate. LinkedIn knows a lot of tools automate, and some of them are still alive. They come back. They are not banned. So the thing is, LinkedIn is making so much money with people subscribing to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and people using Sales Navigator are pretty much all using automation tools.
Yeah, of
So if
course.
they ban those people, they kill their own business, and they know it. So yeah, I mean it's a risk. it was the fastest way to get started for us, and we never had a customer being banned. The only thing that can happen is if a customer is running two tools at the same time, or if he's using a wrong location, or if he created a fake account. But I mean, if you have a real account using Gojiberry or any other automation tool, you never get banned and nothing ever happens to your account.
How do you think about raising money to grow? So, in your view, do you see a plateau where you more likely need capital to be able to compete with the big dogs? Because your example shows that like you can bootstrap it on the first
Mm-hmm.
phases and go from 0 to 20, then to 100 to $1 million, but but you still said that you raised YC and went to the YC for the networking, not necessarily for the money. So do you believe
Mm-hmm.
that there's going to be a stage where you would require capital?
So after YC, we raised a round of
Mm,
$4 million. We haven't announced it yet.
okay.
We raised it for
Here's an announcement, I guess.
yep.
For everyone.
We raised it for a few reasons. First, when you raise money, it's often very hard, and after YC, it's very easy. And second thing is that we might need that money later on because of the competition, because of how fast the market is going. If we want to address mid-market and enterprise, at one point, we might need to put a lot of cash up front. For now, that hasn't been the case. We haven't touched the money that we raised, but we know it's here and we can use it whenever we want. So yeah, I think you can probably bootstrap to 50 millions like Lemlist did. Um, but to go above and faster, you probably need capital.
Sure. Great. Now, can you please start sharing the screen? In I
Of course.
will make sure people can see that.
Yep. I think you can see my screen.
I do. While I'm pulling it up, can you please explain to the people what are you going to be showing?
Sure. So I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you how you can get high intent data. And then I'm going to show you what kind of sequence we send. And we send that sequence on Gojiberry, but also on Instantly, which is very interesting. We use the two tools for different reasons. Gojiberry is really doing the multi-channel, very targeted outreach, and Instantly is doing the mass outreach. So
Great. We
what
can
I'm
see a
going to
screen.
do, okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm Instantly AI. And I'm building a campaign here. So I'm going to show you the steps we use to get those high intent lead, and then I have the campaign ready and show you how this works. So
Yes.
let's say you are a tool called Instantly AI,
Okay.
and you really want to know who you could target to find high intent leads. So we'll analyze the website on step one. Gojiberry is going to tell me, okay, your SaaS is doing cold outreach. These are the features. These are the social proof, and so on. Then I can decide which kind of channel I want to use. I connect my LinkedIn. I decide my campaign goals. So let's say I want to connect with warm prospects in a professional way.
Yes.
And so the reason why this type of campaign works is really because of the types of leads we'll be contacting here. So you decide who is your ideal customer if you are Instantly AI, the kind of companies you are targeting. So if I were Instantly, I would definitely target SaaS
Yeah, so the
marketing
ICP
companies.
defining.
Exactly. You decide who you want to exclude, and then that's where it gets interesting. You can decide what type of leads you want. So let's say you want the most active leads, you want leads that change jobs. You can target keywords. So if I were Instantly, I would love to target people on LinkedIn that talk about cold email
Most likely.
deliverability,
Yes.
sales automation. So I would also like to target people talking or interacting with my competitors. So I would probably put Lemlist. I would put I don't know them all.
Smartly.
Salesforce, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
All these guys. Smartly is a nice one. Smartly. Um, and so I would get a previewing of my leads. And so that's step one. Step one is really getting those type of leads. And I know that my list building is great because it's people that match my ICP, are interested by what I do. Then I can launch my agent. So that's phase one. Phase two, I'm going to explain now how you can target those leads and how you can get crazy results. So we use a strategy at Gojiberry. It's to give upfront. So what we do when we launch a campaign here, we always use the same campaign. What we do, we create resources about what we do. So how we book 12 demos in 5 days.
Yes.
And instead of asking people, okay, we are doing a cold mailing tool, please book a call with us. What we're going to do is, hey, we've helped a company book 12 demos in 5 days thanks to cold mailing.
See how.
Reply yes, we send you the blueprint.
Lead magnet.
And this has been the craziest campaign, either on Gojiberry or on Instantly. I think on Instantly, we sent 4 million emails with that exact blueprint. And the reply rate is absolutely crazy. And so what's really interesting about this is while all your competitors are always asking for time, actually, they want prospects to book a demo, they want prospects to... Here you are just giving value upfront, and inside the blueprint, you put everything they need to know about your product. You put videos, you put demo links.
It's like a sales page, basically, education slash sales page. So you don't need to sound scammy. That like it's just like selling. You provide the value, but at the same time, you're selling yourself.
Exactly. And I'm sure you are receiving a lot of cold mailing yourself. And if you take every 15 minutes people ask, I mean, your whole day is basically going on random demos. So that's not possible. And so why I showed you the Gojiberry part before, it's because here I get leads every day brought by Gojiberry with people targeting the right keywords, people that interacted with my competitors, and so on. I can enrich the email of those guys and then send them to Instantly, contact them on Gojiberry on LinkedIn, and do the campaign I just showed you. And so for each lead that is here, what's really interesting is you can create AI templates with a template called ebook. You can basically say, hi, first name, intent, call to action, give instruction where you are going to say, ask for permission to give an ebook. And so each lead is going to get a message like this one, asking them to if they want the ebook or not, based on their business, based on their interactions, based on the intent they triggered. And what's really interesting about all of this is if you do everything right, you get great leads with great messaging and a great sequence. And so when everything is right, you get crazy demos, numbers. You get a lot of people sharing your blueprint, and so on. And so, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I did want to clarify a few things before we move on. So when you are sending the lead magnet, are you sending it as a link or as a file?
I'm asking for the permission to send the lead magnet.
But then once they
and
reply,
then as a link.
as a link.
Yes.
Do you somehow target, because I've been seeing, if I'm not mistaken, so you've been showing the page on Notion. So
Yeah.
is there some sort of like a tracking mechanism that you're using? Obviously, like you can kind of track the click-through rate, but of like how many people viewed, how many people booked, and if you can kind of share that as a base, would love to hear that.
Yeah, of course. So I would have to check the campaign I sent. I have one running right
No
now,
worries. Yeah, we could.
but I would say about 50 to 75 people ask for the lead magnet every day. And what we do is in messages 2 or 3, we still send the lead magnet as a link, but non-clickable, so people can copy and paste it and it doesn't go to spam. So we get like
Mm-hmm.
a crazy amount of people going here, clicking on every link, watching the videos. So for example, this video has pretty much done 0 views on YouTube. It's only people that went to the lead magnet and clicked, and it has more than 14,000 views. So like the number of people getting on this lead magnet is absolutely insane.
And so, since you shared the average amount of people who are getting the lead magnet, so how about the booking rate in terms of like, do you see like, 5, 10, how many percent of people who do receive the lead magnet you believe they're booking the calls?
So we are a PLG product. So call is really the last thing we
Ah,
want to do,
yeah.
but we still have 3 to 5 demos per day with our lead magnets. Because if we go at the bottom here, I think there is a book a call with the founder here. And you can only book a call if you have a team of 5+ people. So it's very restrictive. Most people, they go here, they go through the trial, we never talk to them, and they enjoy Gojiberry. But yeah, the taking a demo is not the initial goal here.
This is very interesting. I appreciate you sharing that. And so I originally got so excited once you started to share it because so if you think about this, like LinkedIn is famous by like doing this like lead magnet stuff. And I'll be honest, like I grew my profile by a
Of course.
lot, but just like doing this lead magnets. But now you're kind of relied on the algorithm, right? Like to push your posts, plus like then it's gonna be a mix of people who are following you, the lead magnets versus like your ICP. But this is like a proactive way to promote your free stuff. Plus, again, like YouTube, which is I love. So it's like you post to YouTube, but this is a workaround way, kind of like between just leaving it to the algo and turning ads to your videos. It's like
And
it's interesting.
one thing I forgot to mention is we've tried maybe 10 or 15 lead magnets through LinkedIn, and we take the one that get the most success to push them through cold outreach.
That's great.
So yeah, we also love the LinkedIn lead magnet strategy.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, guys, if you would have any questions, we will leave obviously the links to our man, and you can ask it, or you can ask it right now in the chat. And if any of you curious on how everything is done, we're gonna have a Q&A session where me or our man can answer that. Now, we are gonna play a little game with you, Roman. On, by the way, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Roman?
Roman, yes.
Oh man, okay, that's good. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen right here, and I am pretty sure that you are very familiar with this game. It's called ranking signals from S to D. Means I will actually read a action that someone is going to take, and you would have to rank of how much you believe this is an actually buying signal that you can use in your potential campaign. So as being the top of the top, you must use it all the time, and D is trash. If you use it, you are gonna go bankrupt. You ready? So they viewed your profile.
I mean, it's always are they qualified or not? Let's assume they are qualified. Yes, yes.
It's the S. They like competitors' post.
Um, would be B.
Would be B. They commented on a competitor post.
A probably.
It's probably A. Now, here, this is going to be they changed the job in the last 90 days.
Yes, C is fine.
It's a C. The company just raised funding and you're reaching out based on that.
B.
That's going to be the B. They are hiring for the exact role that your product helps them with.
A.
It's the A. They followed you, but never engaged.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's not too bad. If they are qualified, it can be B.
Can be a B. They visited your pricing page.
Yeah, S.
This is going to be the S. They joined LinkedIn group in your category.
Yeah, C or D. C probably.
That's C. And they posted asking for a recommendation to the tool that you can potentially provide.
Yeah, you can put in A.
That's interesting. And so just so that you comment, wait, I just want to make sure that people can uh, see you. Can you check if we can see the guest? I think. Okay, so I think your camera was for some reason off. Okay. Apologies for that, guys. Anyways, so this is how Roman ranked all the signals. Now, if you can comment on that
Yeah.
quickly, I would appreciate that. You'd said that they are hiring for the exact role you help them with. Why is it not an S tier and just A?
So just to clarify, the second one they commented on a competitor what was A and not S.
So,
Um,
which one was it?
the second one on
This one
S,
was A?
no, it was the other one. There is the one in S. They commented on a competitor. Yeah,
Yes.
this one was A. Yeah. So
Okay.
why it's not S for their hiring for the exact same
Yes.
role? Because it's not someone who has done meaningful action toward you, basically.
Uh,
S is really the perfect ICP that is telling you, okay, I'm interested. And
this,
hiring for the exact same role doesn't mean they are interested, but maybe not by you. So that's why it's A.
this is so
Same as,
interesting perspective, right? So this is basically a qualified prospect, but it's not yet qualified based on the interest in your own company, which is really interesting. But they raised the funding, which is B. But isn't that signalize that they have the money? They're probably going to expand, and most likely they can buy.
so it's a great signal, but tracked by so many tools that everyone is rushing on this one because it's one of the easiest to track. So I would rather have someone viewing my profile and being the exact ICP than showing some raise announcement.
Yeah, how many emails did you get after joining YC?
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah. Awesome. Look, this is great. The very last part of this show is going to be a blitz, which is me shooting questions to you very fast, and you are going to reply either fast or expand on your answer. You ready?
Let's go.
What works better for the first touch, LinkedIn or email?
LinkedIn.
Do you send connection requests with the notes or without?
Without.
Do you ever buy leads or do you always find them yourself?
I sometimes buy leads.
Do you prefer a free trial or a demo?
Free trial.
What's the best AI model for the go to market work right now?
Opus 4.8.
If someone offered you perfect terms tomorrow, would you raise another round on top
No.
of not announced $2 million?
No.
What's the most useless tool you have ever paid for?
It's hard to tell, but probably RB2B.
Great. Wait, RB2B.
Yes.
Useless.
For us, it was. For the previous company, absolutely useless. For this one, I don't know.
That's really interesting. The very last question that I ask every guest on this show: if you have access to unlimited capital and the best talent in the world for the next 90 days, but you cannot spend it on marketing nor media buying, where would you spend it on? Where would you allocate these resources? Would you build a feature within your company? Would you launch a new startup? What would you do with all the access?
If we talk about Goji Berry, it would be definitely building the best product, like the best product in the entire market. Adding new sources, adding new AI models, like pushing everything to the limit.
So basically, you would do what you're currently doing, but just like with this, all these things just faster.
Yes.
That shows a lot that you're moving into the right direction. Look, man, I appreciate you coming in the show. Where people can find you?
You can find me on X, Roman Bieltsas,
Yep.
and on gojiberry.ai, of course.
Awesome. Look, I appreciate you coming on, and you have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Cheers. Awesome, guys. So that was Roman. Very interesting conversation, very interesting takes on quite a few different topics when it comes to the signals, as well as raising capital and growing company from zero. Now, we do have Milana waiting for us already. So don't click off now while I am pulling her up here. In the description, you'll find a link to our weekly newsletter that you must sign up if you want to stay up to date. Plus, there we are posting all of the things that we learn together from the guests on the show so that you have it in the written format and not just in the videos. Also, like and subscribe because we are streaming on X, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. Let me see right here if we are having Milana joining us. I think so. Uh, that is great. Awesome. Um, So the second guest on the show is Milana Pitkovic. She's a go-to-market engineer with 13 years in outbound, and she won an AI SDR agent competition earlier this year. Today we're showing you, and she's showing us a real before and after. So a client selling a Shopify to Shopify stores, what their outbound looked like when they came to her, and the campaigns that ended up sending 252,000 emails at a 3.8 reply rate and producing more than $300,000 in pipeline. Milana, welcome to the show. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, all good,
Hello.
all good. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. And you? Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. The second show up on the show. We always appreciate that. We promised you guys that she is gonna come back, and here she is. Look, I do have a few questions before we kind of move on. Now, you like I was looking at you as someone who sends less emails than anyone else and takes um a targeted approach. But then you send me that you want to review this client who you send 250,000 emails, which doesn't seem like a small amount. So what changed? Like why so many for this client?
Okay, so this client was running some campaigns before us. So before they basically come to me. So in this case, a lot of emails and volume have gone already before me. So in this case, they come to us running with broken infrastructure, broken copy, and broken targeting. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, so we help them basically focus on a good approach. So when it comes to the infrastructure, emails were totally broken without any warm up setup, and they were sending a lot of really long emails to a lot of e-com stores that you already know that inboxes are really crowded. So we help them basically step by step. So from infrastructure uh, to copy and to targeting.
We're gonna discuss it, right? You're gonna show this to us in just a moment. But also, like, it's always very fascinating when I hear that people being, in the role for quite some time, right? So you being 13 years in the outbound. So I would love to know, maybe you can share some things that used to work in the past but right now can get you blocked, and they don't consider it a, being a good practice.
In this case, I would also like to tackle this case I sent you, and I'm going to show after. So before, we used to think that cold email is something that like a number game. I'd like to call it a minds game in this case. When it comes to sending a lot of emails, especially long emails without a structure, without a proper opt-out sentence, without proper spin tags, is totally bad and it's not going to work anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it worked in the past, like when I was starting cold outreach, I used to send a lot, and that was like maybe 8, 10 years ago. But now we mustn't do that, for example. So how we help this client, like first fixing the infrastructure, that is totally something that is mandatory because you cannot scale the broken pipeline in this case. So when you have proper infrastructure in place, your emails are inboxing, then we tackle the copy. So we never do the copy right at the beginning. So first of all, first things first. So when it comes to the copy, we also help this client, like what used to work in the past as well, like sending a lot of same emails to
Okay.
everyone.
Yep.
So when you're targeting e-com stores, you know that those inboxes are really crowded at the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning. So you cannot target those leads with a generic message in this case. So instantly also offers, and e-com stores cannot be found in every kind of database. In this case, instantly also offers like store leads. So how to approach these clients? So you need to acknowledge their needs, the stage, the moment they're facing, and the pain as well. So you can, for example, you can filter those leads inside of Super Search by vertical or by technology used. So we filter those, score them, and hit them with a proper offer that is totally related to them in that specific moment. So again, I must mention again that this is basically targeting situation more
Yes.
than targeting companies.
Okay, guys, we are going to show you right now the campaign, and Milana is going to show us before and after. But this is going to happen in about 20 seconds. Don't click off. We need to. Guys, we are back. So, right now, Milana will show us the before and after campaign and the strategy for a client that came to her. Now, can you please share the screen and I'll make sure people can see it?
Of course. Let me just.
Guys, everyone who is watching us live, please do not forget that you can comment down below if you have any questions while Milana is going to show us, and should be happy to reply. Or if you have any questions to me, I am also here. Now, while you are pulling it up and I'm showing it to the viewers, can you explain what you're going to be showing?
So this is just like a screenshot, just a snapshot of those like situation that I already explained a bit. So basically, this was before they joined the Instantly VIP program. So they were sending, but this wasn't the case that it was the best. Of course, they started here, but we fixed the infrastructure, and then we basically nailed all the volume of the opportunities after. So, like I already mentioned, after the setting up everything, make your copy totally boring if your setup is perfect. So, in this case, we can see that here are 300 opportunities. Reply rate is definitely something that is maybe above the average when it comes to this targeting. This is again an average reply rate because sometimes was also like even higher, and total email sent like in this case. So another really important thing when it comes to e-com stores is I must repeat again that those audiences are not really something that are can be interested easily. So we basically, instead of targeting them with us, we target them with the offer, giving them a value. So the copy in this case was like really short, like 2 lines. We prepared a list of 50 influencers that are really good fit for your company store in this case. Is that relevant for your company? So this is like only 2 to 3 lines, totally relevant. So that prospect is asking themselves, for example, oh, they already created something for me, prepare something for me, why not? So again, easy to say yes in this case when it comes to offer.
And just so that we're on the same page, so essentially, this was the client that is selling to Shopify store owners. So he's
Yes.
targeting ecom. And was it a like marketing type of the offer, or was it like a software type of the offer?
This company has both, to be honest. So you did
Mm-hmm.
your homework. This company has both, but this was basically a partnership offer. So influencer related, but partnerships. Yes.
And so, in your point of view, right? I just want to simplify it to everyone. So the guys who are running cold emails. So obviously the guys were familiar with the cold emails, and we can see it on the graph. So they were not generating a ton, but then they started to generate a ton of opportunities in the replay. So like, what what was it, right? Like, was it mostly the messaging? Was it mostly the targeting? Was it mostly the offer that you changed? So what influenced such a big jump?
I think everything a bit, like you listed. So when it comes to the copy, they were having like really long emails, like introducing themselves in email, like a wall of text. Like I am, for example, Milana from this and this. Nobody cares about that. So we shorten the email. So we have really strict rule. Everything must be under 60 or 70 words in this case. Offer comes first, not us in this case. So this is something that is also fixed. When it comes to the infrastructure I already explained, this must be in place every single time. And call to action must be totally easy to accept. So low barrier acceptance. So I already prepared something for you. Is this relevant for you to send you or whatever? Not asking them for a call. Do you have 2 minutes? Do you have some? No, we already did our homework and prepared them a list of perfect fit influencers in this case, so they can basically try and test. So when it comes to the list, also is very important to do your homework. Like I already mentioned, so Super Search has a real connection with store leads. We are using their database now. So everyone that are targeting like Shopify stores know that we usually get generic emails when targeting Shopify stores. So this is not really the case if you're using Super Search. So we can filter those companies by vertical, also filter specific titles we want to target, and also stage and momentum and the pain they're facing. So basically, we filter those leads, score those leads, and gave them the proper value they were asking at the specific moment. So we
Mm-hmm.
basically knew that they were going to say yes. So
Okay.
if you do all of these, like proper homework, I think this is something that must work.
Would you recommend the majority of the companies to start utilizing the lead magnets in their outreach?
Yes. Yes, and they need to start thinking about lead magnets
But
if they don't have.
But then, how do you actually measure the results? Are there anything specific? Because when you are sending a lead magnet, uh, I know that a lot of people get an impression that, okay, like you just delivered the mechanism without doing a proper call to action, like, hey, like book a call. So they're going through that and not booking, and maybe the lead magnet is not convincing enough to book people in. So do you follow up with them after the lead magnet is sent? Do you include the link in the lead magnet and information about your company, how you can help? How do you think about that?
Okay, so you're basically asking me what happens next
Yes.
after
Yeah,
someone,
after it's sent.
yeah.
Yes.
In this case, I do not recommend including links, never. So I have even like opt-out sentence, like unsubscribe sentence
Hmm.
in terms of sentence, not like a link. So a lot of clients are asking like, oh, are we compliant? Are we this and this? No, this is totally fine. Just include unsubscribe sentence. So you don't want to hear from us, just reply, and that's that. When it comes to overall process after, I definitely suggest to follow this process, especially if you have a good offer and good value to give them. So nobody cares about the call, about asking them for 2 minutes, 3 minutes of their time. And especially this kind of audience is pretty busy. So in this case, like asking them for a call, no, just send me the list and we will talk. And they're going to talk after we send them a list in this case. Or, for example, in any different kind of situation, different kind of a lead magnet that definitely gives them a value. So we need to approach with the value, not targeting them with introducing ourselves and asking them. We need to give a value, not ask something from them in this case. So I think this is helpful.
It is helpful, and it's very interesting because we've been discussing the lead magnets with Roman, who was the first guest on the show, and he was sharing
Oh,
his
really? Yeah.
strategies, and he was like recommending to do kind of the same thing. So this is very interesting. Look, Milana, I appreciate you coming on, sharing
Thank you.
the case study, and as always, we'll be in touch.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
See you soon.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Cheers. Awesome, guys. So that was Milana, the second guest. I was not planning for it, honestly, so that two guests were shilling the strategy of sending the lead magnets. But here you go. I think this is just an illustration that this is one of the most effective ways. Now, but you need to be smart about it, right? It has to be something tangible, like, hey, here are like a checklist of how you can, like, if you're a marketing agency, of how you can launch Google ad campaigns. Okay, but like think about it this way. So uh we actually helped this client did this, and uh, we actually have 5 different creatives that we can show you that really work. Do you want me to send them, right? So like for a marketing agency, like creatives are really cool for the Google PPC SEO. Maybe this is something related to the keywords. Now, maybe this is something related to raising capital, like the pitch deck that other startup was using to raise capital. So there's so many different things, right? So I think, and I believe, again, based on the guests, that you need to try it out. Anyways, guys, so that was the Friday show. We are going to be seeing you on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, like, subscribe. We are streaming on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So you have the great weekend and a good rest of your day. Take care.